everybody, Matt Buto here from North Country Game Day, and guess what? We are back. It is April. Spring is in the air somewhat, although if you go outside right now, it's about 34 degrees and spitting snow. It is oh so close. Baseball, softball, track, tennis, North Country, Berlin, Gorham, athletes, everything in between. Our opportunity to talk, our opportunity to give some perspectives and thoughts, but most importantly, highlight all the good things that are going on here in the North Country, especially in Berlin and Gorham. Again, my name is Matt Buto. It has been probably 2 or 3 months since we've had a show. For whatever reason, maneuvering through the winter weather, watching a lot of basketball, repping some basketball, but as always, North Country teams represented. But since it is spring, we're going to start here with baseball, softball, again, tennis, track. Today's show will be mostly about baseball for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a big baseball fan. Two, I'm a baseball umpire. And three, I know most about the baseball that's going on here. But it doesn't mean we won't talk softball. It doesn't mean we won't talk the other sports. Talk about the other sports. It just means for today, we're doing baseball. Today's show is brought to you by Impact Consulting. Let's get it going. A few different features for our shows this time around. Have some email, have some text messages, people asking a lot of questions. What's next? Where are you going? What's happening? I'll get all to it. One of the first questions that, let me check my email here. One of the first questions that people were asking, are you coming back? Absolutely. We are back, hoping to do something a little more consistent, perhaps a weekly show. Probably won't do a whole bunch of broadcasting. So I can maneuver through my own baseball high school umpiring schedule, hoping to get some games, some video clips, but at the very minimum, one show a week to discuss the past week, the next week, and everything in between. So yes, we are back, planning to stay around for a while, have a really big plan for fall. I'm hoping to get to a game of the week, to a show of the week. So the question was, are you coming back? Absolutely. Here we are. Are you covering baseball? We're going to cover baseball in our shows and what's going on for the fall. A lot of fall plans, soccer, football, field hockey, and everything in between. So let's get going on baseball. North Country last year, as usual, outstanding. Division 4, Groveton, Gorham, Colbert, Pittsburgh Canaan, Linwood, Littleton, Profile, Lisbon, Woodsville, making it all the way to the championship game. All of those teams, I think I said Gorham, in Division 4 competed. Gorham 11-3, semifinal loss 3-1. Groveton 7-7, quarterfinal loss to Gorham 7-4. Colbrook 12-4 in the year, first round loss to Groveton. Littleton 10-6 on the year, first round loss 11-0. Profile 6-8 on the year, first round loss 10-3. Woodsville 11-5, made it all the way to the finals and lost in the finals. So just those teams alone, well represented. Everybody either above or close to 500, and were able to make some advancement. Linwood doesn't have a team this year, but even they were 11-5. And then you have teams, your Pittsburgh Canaan and your Lisbon teams, who are always young, who work hard and still somehow manage to, if even you take a look at Lisbon, 1-13. I umpired probably 2 or 3 of their games. They could be easily, 5-10. So that's the way those things go, especially Pittsburgh Canaan. I don't know how Pittsburgh Canaan does it, but every year they have a team. No matter the size of the school, the record from the year before, the competition, no matter what, they compete. Again, they were 1-14. They could easily be 5-10. So there you have it. Gorham, Groveton, Colebrook, all at the top. Littleton, Profile, Woodsville in the finals, 11-5, outstanding, well represented. Then you go to Division 3. Our 2 Division 3 teams, Berlin and White Mountain Regional. Berlin 2-14 under the tutelage of Dan Mackin. Let's talk about Berlin for a bit. Berlin 2-14, again another team that could easily have improved, but this year they have a new coach, and that's Don Picard. Now, I think most of us know Don Beekart as a probably one of the better, if not best, basketball coaches in Division Three, perhaps the state of New Hampshire. Well known for his basketball coaching, 2012 championship team, boys team, if not the first championship team. And honestly, there's like maybe something like 1938, 1942 kind of thing. But really, the first true championship in many, many, many years back in 2012. Picard led that team. Since then, he has switched over to girls basketball, and every year has competitive teams. I believe this year he made it to the quarterfinal game. An outstanding coach, to say the least. 300 plus wins, at least one coach of the year. It goes on and on and on for Mr. Picard. And he's a baseball player, Division I Vermont. I believe he was a shortstop. The pedigree for baseball is in Mr. Picard. From what I gather, his dad was very active in Vermont baseball as well. I think he's in the Vermont Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame. So Picard's coming in, and he has the ability to coach and knows the game. I remember many years ago him talking about his defense, so I'm excited for Berlin. Again, probably a growing year, probably some changes, those types of things, but the guy can coach. The guy knows baseball, and if you know anything about these Berlin baseball players, they are going to listen and they're going to compete. So they're looking forward to a little redemption. That 2-14 record will get better. I've had this opportunity to go see them. There were a couple times where, as a high school baseball umpire, we're looking for chances to go in and do some preseason umpiring, and we did that. Spent some time with the boys on the team, Hudson Goulette, Nolan Crotto, a couple others. Spent some time with Coach Picard. Welcomed us in there, and if their pitching tells a story about their season, watch out. Watch out. I don't know what the record will be, but I am willing to say much better than 2-14. Picard, Berlin, they're going to bring it, and a special shout out to them because they let us come in. Then you go out west and you go over to White Mountain Regional High School. Last year, 14-2, quarterfinal loss to Monadnock, 10-3. For those of us that don't know Monadnock's a team that has been to the finals, I think in the last 5 years, and I believe they won 4. Don't quote me on that, but needless to say, Monadnock, one of the best by far. Monadnock would beat White Mountains Regional in the quarterfinals and go on to win the championship game. But look at that record, 14-2. Big loss with Noah Coble, not there. But you talk about Picard, let's talk about Ben Hicks. Ben Hicks, again, another quality coach who has led to White Mountains Regional. I think he was there for years, left for a bit, came back. I think this is his second year back, maybe third. When he was there, always a competitive team, always either quarterfinals, semifinals, and championship games, maybe 1 or 2. So what do you think about White Mountains Regional? Mechanics, fundamentals, good coaching, bats, pitching. I am looking forward to that team. Again, down Noah Coble, who, in my opinion, was probably one of the better players in the state, not just Division III. But if you know Ben, if you know Coach X, you know that they're going to be well coached, and they'll stay in every game that they play. And don't be surprised if you see another 14-2 record. So that's Berlin. That's White Mountains Regional. I will look at the schedule to see when they play against each other. I'm not sure how much of a rivalry that has been recently, due to the levels of play. But you know that what's going to happen in those games. They are going to bring it, just because of who they are. So we covered real quick Division 3, Division 4, and just a quick shout out to Josh McAllister over in Kennett, another good quality coach. Kennett finished 9-9 with a first round loss, 8-4. Josh and I have spent some time together in high school ball, Cal Ripken ball, Babe Ruth ball. Again, another quality coach who is looking forward to 500 or better. Now there have been some changes to some of these teams. I don't have all the information I'd like, but I'd like to share some thoughts with you. Let's start with Gorham. Gorham lost Saladino, Langlois, and Corrigan, I believe. That's significant. Gorham 11-3, semifinal loss 3-1. I believe Pete Gerard's coming back again. Another great coach who I don't know how they do it. Picard, Gerard, Purrington, Hicks. No matter who they have, who left, who's coming back, they somehow manage to get into the playoffs and at times deep into the playoffs. Gorham last year, 321 team batting average, 1.54 earned run average. Outstanding pitching, outstanding hitting. It's a much younger team, but I'm looking forward to watching them because they're young and they're good. So I don't know if we'll see that 1.54, that 321 batting average, but that sure as heck is the reason why they ended the season 11-3. But we're looking forward to having some fun watching those guys and umpiring. Groveton, I got word that Dave Deming is taking over the team as coach. I don't know if you remember Dave. He was the 2022 coach, I believe, for White Mountains Regional, the championship White Mountains Regional team. Dave had been, I believe, out of baseball for a couple of years, doing his own thing and probably working, keeping busy. But I recently heard, don't quote me yet, pretty sure, though, that Dave has taken over the helm of Groveton. And I always enjoy talking to Dave. Dave was very well composed and put a team together that won a championship. So things are looking good up in Groveton. You have a good coach, and they're scrappy, to say the least. Let's go up to Colebrook. Tim Purrington, 12-4, first round loss to Groveton, 4-3, close game. Again, I could say it a million times in this episode. Good coaching, well played, good fundamentals. Colebrook last year, so we had Groveton with a 358 batting average, but a 732 earned run average. Gorham 321, 1.54. Colebrook 296 and 2.70. And I believe White Mountains Regional 314, 192, and I'm not sure what Berlin is. So sticking with Colebrook, they can hit, they can pitch. Not sure who they lost, who's coming back, but I'm guessing that between really good coaching and hitting and pitching, they'll be somewhere around that area. So that's Colebrook. Pittsburgh Canyon 1-14, looking to make a few changes. I was talking with some Pittsburgh Canyon players. It sounds like they will have quite a few eighth graders. The numbers are low. Littleton 10-6, first round loss. AJ Bray, I think this will be his second or third year not coaching the team, but Brock Ingles is there, also the AD for Littleton. Managed to get that team to a 10-6 record with a first round loss. Nothing to be ashamed of. Littleton has great feeder programs, so they're looking to compete again this year. I'm excited to watch them. Profile 6-8, first round loss. Profile squeaked into the playoffs. A really nice team, really good group of players. And they did what they needed to do to get into the playoffs. And they lost that first game 10-3, but they made it. And I believe that program is growing, but we'll see this year. Lisbon 1-13, looking for maybe a couple more wins. I'll be down there a couple times this year for umpiring. And then Woodsville. Woodsville came with a 295 batting average for the season, 2.82 earned run average, 11-5. They made it all the way to the finals with a loss. I don't know how Woodsville does it, but they always have outstanding soccer teams, outstanding basketball teams, and outstanding baseball teams. A bunch of really good athletes, and I think like this basketball season they just had, they come to these seasons ready. Woodsville plays soccer, and they're out there winning games, winning championships. Then they go to basketball, working hard, just as hard, and it goes on and on and on. So they're always physically and mentally prepared for these games. Even after finishing 11-5, which is a really decent record, they still managed to make it to the finals, unfortunately with a loss. So that's baseball. Again, Woodsville coming in at a 295 batting average, 282 earned run average. And and going back to Kennett real quick, it was 304, 4.15. 2025 Division III Championship, Monadnock over Bishop Brady 2-1. 5 of the last 5 championships Monadnock has been in, and I believe they've won 4. And then Epping and Woodsville in a Division IV championship on that Sunday. After the Saturday championship day, Epping over Woodsville 9-0. So there you have it. We have exciting baseball. I'm looking forward. I'm guessing Gorham at the top, Groveton around, hanging around, Colebrook hanging around, Littleton probably closer to the top. The list goes on and on. Profile, Lisbon, Woodsville. So we'll see. Let's get some home playoff games. Let's get into the playoffs. It's a whole new season. Looking forward to watching Don Picard coach his Berlin Mountaineers team. And then, as always, Ben Hicks at the helm of White Mountains Regional. And a shout-out to Josh McAllister down in Kennett. So I wanted to touch upon real quick tennis. After doing some homework on tennis, I know that off and on, Berlin has had boys and girls teams, and Gorham as well. So I dug in a little bit to see what is out there. It's not my specialty, but I do want to give those athletes a shout out. For some of those teams, the tennis teams some of those schools, the tennis teams are the biggest they've been. They're also taking students and developing them into tennis players and athletes. And there's also some challenge with growing tennis programs. You're seeing some of those really good baseball players and softball players playing tennis or playing track, which is really just it shows how good these programs are. So, real quick, Berlin. They do have a girls team. I don't have much information on them, but I can tell you that they're passionate. They do always come to compete. They seem to play the role of a new young team, and somehow end up in the mix. About 8 or 9 years ago, maybe, I think it was 2017, they were runner-up in the finals. So they have it. They're going to work. They're going to work hard. And then you look at the rest of the Division III, Berlin, Littleton, Profile, White Mountain Regional High School. Littleton's outstanding. I think I counted 5 years. I think since 2014, 7 finals, 5 championships. Wow. That's outstanding. Profile championship back in 2012, and then White Mountains Regional High School. Again, 10 years, 8 years, 9 years, 7 years, whatever it might be. But tennis is alive and well in the North Country, and our tennis teams are winning, especially our girls teams. And it's not an easy sport. It's not a sport that's talked about often, and we should. And now the interest is starting to impact baseball and softball, your more typical sports. So be on the lookout. You're gonna try to get down and cover a couple of those games. Then you go over to tennis boys. Don't have a lot of information. I don't believe Berlin has a team. I don't believe Gorham has a team. I could be wrong though, as time, at least according to NHIA.org. But you're looking at a Profile boys team and a White Mountains Regional High School team ready to compete. So we got tennis, we got baseball, softball. Every team that we talked about with baseball: Gorham, Groveton, Colebrook, Woodsville, Littleton, Profile, Lisbon. There may be some number changes, like Linwood doesn't have a team for baseball. But when I think Berlin, I think Rolly Poirier. Again, I'm still pretty sure he's at the helm there. They're going to compete. And really all of these teams that I've just listed, if not similar to baseball as far as competition-wise, pretty darn close. Softball's huge in the North Country and statewide, so I'm looking forward to getting some more information from them and covering them. As I was looking over the NHIA to get some updated information, I was reminded that of the Sportsmanship Awards for 24-25, quick shout out to Gorham, who's a Division IV Sportsmanship Award for 24-25, and then Berlin for Division III Sportsmanship Award for 24-25. probably my favorite part, sportsmanship. But it's good to see Gorham. It's good to see Berlin up there representing. And you'll see that throughout the North Country, no doubt. While I was here, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Tom Desichel Award. That's an award that's given out to, it's essentially to a coach who contributes or makes contributions to baseball in general, especially high school baseball. This year, I was working with another umpire, and we had come to the conclusion that a North Country coach had never won the award. So who could it have been? I mean, there could have been 3 or 4 guys, but the name that came up most often for me was Coach Danny Brigham over in Berlin, who I don't think has coached for probably 8 or 9, maybe 10 years, but had a significant impact on Berlin baseball. I'm gonna guess 38 years, 38, 39, 40, maybe 37 of coaching. The list goes on and on for accomplishments. Best thing about Coach Brigham, just a heck of a nice guy, a great coach. Everybody you talk to had things to say about him, and you give your life to 40 years of your life to a program. It's good stuff. So the 2026 Tom Desichel Award winner went to Dan Brigham, and we had the opportunity as umpires, high school baseball umpires down in Merrimack Valley, to give him that award. Myself, there was another North Country umpire who worked closely with Coach Brigham, and we were able to bring that award to him. So first one in the North Country, first one ever. I think they've been probably giving it out for 20, 25 years. Are there other deserving coaches at some point? Absolutely. But congratulations to Coach Brigham. Heck of a guy, heck of a coach, and just an all-around good person. So I wanted to talk a little bit about those things because they're important to me. Sportsmanship awards, coaches, those types of things. So to keep it short, that is a quick review of what we have coming here for North Country Game Day. Talked mostly about baseball today. We'll continue to talk about all North Country sports, but wanted to give some coverage to baseball, tennis, softball. I don't want to bore you with going on to NHIAA.org, but I will real quick as my computer's loading up here. Again, keeping in mind, it is baseball and softball season. But if you were to go outside right now up where I am, it is 34 degrees and spitting snow. So I guess what we can have right now is hope that we get warm weather. I'm looking out. There's no snow on the fields up here, up north. So it's looking good for getting out there on softball fields and tennis courts. Assuming that we don't get any snow. It's hard with the weather forecast, as you know. Sometimes there's snow, sometimes it's 4 inches, sometimes it's rain. Sometimes you wake up and everything's soaked, sometimes it's dry, sometimes there's snow. But baseball, I believe all seasons start next Monday. And if it continues to get warm, like I saw in the forecast, we should be good to go. We may very well even get North Country baseball, softball, and tennis and track, and at the beginning of the season instead of toward the end of the month where we start with our home games. Speaking of track, track is another sport too that we'll cover. Always good numbers, good competition. Again, track is another sport that's having an impact on your more common or typical sports, which is really good. I like it. My son's a thrower, if you will, probably for the lack of a better term. So looking forward to that season as well. I wanted to real quick touch upon a few emails that I received. I think I already talked about most of them. When are you coming back? Are you covering baseball? Are you covering fall? How many cameras crew? How many cameras crew do we have? Right now, it is a one-person show. I do the camera, I do the announcing, I do the editing, and I do the production. Any volunteers, anybody that's interested in doing the work with me, let me know. We do have one sponsor. As you can see, it's Impact. Impact is a local company that's working with companies to really maximize what they can do with their company. Working with different contracts, working with people, especially working with families, but they have the ability to really maximize what kind of company, what kind of program that you're trying to put together. So they're the first ones to step up and say, hey, we'd like to help out. If you are interested in sponsoring or advertising, please let me know. But again, one-man show, one microphone. I have my computer and trying to edit everything. We got to cover White Mountains Wrath. I believe we are. That's the local AAU basketball team. I would send an invite out to all of you if there's any other programs out there, any other AAU basketball, baseball, Cal Ripken, Babe Ruth. If you want some coverage, please let me know. Anything that you give me, I will produce for you. Any information, any stats, anything like that. It won't be a no. So yeah, like I said, baseball, softball, Bobcats, Cal Ripken, White Mountains Wrath. There are a couple other AAU teams. You want coverage, let me know. Send me information. Send me stats. Send me rosters. Anything you need, I will happily talk about that. Just going through my email list right now as the fire department drives by here. I think that covers it. Feel free to send questions my way. I'm hoping to take some phone calls at some point, kind of open it up to people that are listening, get creative, and most importantly, have some fun. So there you have it. We're back. It's April. Fire department's driving by again. It's April. Baseball, track, tennis, everything in between. I have information I want to share with you. I want to have some fun. I got to do some umpiring, so bear with me. But North Country Game Day, covering Berlin, Gorham, North Country, really wanting to highlight our athletes, trying to do this all so you don't have to pay for it. We do have a Facebook page, North Country Game Day. We have a YouTube channel, North Country Game Day. Go if you can do anything for me, go to North Country Game Day, and or go to North Country Game Day Facebook and like, and go to North Country Game Day YouTube and subscribe. Be the best thing. Get me some views, share, mostly so we can make sure that we're highlighting and really putting the spotlight on Berlin Gorham North Country sports and getting everybody the coverage that they deserve. So, Matt Buto, North Country Game Day, first of many. We're back. Looking forward to covering more in the spring, especially looking forward to covering in the fall. Don't hesitate. Send me your information. Send me your stats. Send me your rosters. Happy to put them up there. And stay tuned as we have some fun. Hang in there, and I will see you around.